30 seconds, and I'm going to go over it. Remember that this formula is given to you. So if you want to, go back up and look at it. It's ten seconds left here. Good. Thank you, Aiden. That's really good. Throw your answers in the chat, guys, when you have it. Beautiful. So good. So yeah, to remind you guys, for those of us that got a good job, for those of us that want a little reminder, first of all, an equilateral triangle looks like this. And what's beautiful about that is it goes 60, 60, 60. Well, if that's 60, 60, 60, well, split in half. Oh, that's probably where the root 3, that's probably where the 30, 60, 90 is coming from. At which point, oh, well, if the height was 5 root 3, this is 5 and this is 10. Remember, it goes x root 3, 2x. 10, 10, 10 is 30. Beautiful. That's 30, 60, 90. I think it might be worth talking about 45, 45, 90. So I'll just go over that now. And remember, this was your number 20 on the non-calc from last test. So I know that we might have gone over this already, but it can't kill you to try this one more time for me. They might just ask it 3 tests in a row. Take a minute here, please. This should look familiar. If you need the formula, it is given. Remember, it's in the chat when you have it. Close, Jake. 10 seconds on the clock. All right, maybe 10 more seconds. Good. Better, Jake. Good, good. All right, guys. So for this question, I understand if you're still working, I apologize. Keep finishing up. But for those of us that just want to watch along or just look, this was number 20 from the October exam just 2 or 3 weeks ago. Let's take a look. It says the perimeter of a square inscribed in a circle is 30 inches. 30 inches. So I have a circle and I have a square inscribed inside of that. Interesting. Okay, well, the perimeter is 30 inches. Well, a perimeter of a square, all the sides are the same. At that point, 30 divided by 4 would give you each side length. For me, that's 15 over 2, which is really 15 divided by 2 is 7.5. So this side is 7.5, that side is 7.5, all the sides are 7.5. And because you guys are so smart, you recognize root 2. Why do I think about root 2? Why is that important? Well, that's only ever shown when there's a 45, 45, 90. At which point my alarms are going off, and I know that, oh my gosh, there's probably a 45, 45, 90 in there. If that's 7.5, that's 7.5, that's 7.5 root 2. Well, that's pretty cool, but they want the radius, my friends. The radius is just half of that. What is half of 7.5? If I have $7.50, what's half of that? 3.75. Really, 3.75 root 2, but all they're asking about is that x value, just 3.75. And remember, you wouldn't even be able to submit root 2 even if you wanted to on the grid in, right? Cool. If you have any questions on that, obviously, let me know in the chat. I can slow down a little bit, but if we're good, let's come down here to fractions. Y'all are kind of weak on fractions. Even my strongest students are messing up on fractions, on what to do and where. Let's go ahead and start with an easy fraction question right here. This is obviously non-calc, but it could show up on the calc. Right around 30 seconds here, guys. This is an easy one for you. A little longer. Brooke, what are we getting for this one? Other Brooke, what are we getting for this one? Good. All right, guys. So what is this question? Well, first of all, remember, we do not read on the SAT. Unless we really, really have to, we really try not to read. What is this question doing? Good job, Hannah. This question is asking us to add or subtract fractions. When we're adding or subtracting fractions, what do we need? We need common denominators. So really, for me, I'm going to tack on a 2 here, tack on a 2 there. I have 4 minus 1 all over 6x squared. Remember, when you have that common denominator, you don't do anything to the denominator, just keep it like that. From there, 4 minus 1 is 3 over 6x squared, and I start to panic. My hands are sweating because my answer is not showing up. But have no fear. If you're confident in your skills, there's probably just something weird that they did. The SAT will always simplify every single fraction. Therefore, the answer here is D. Really, that 3 and that 6 simplify, and it's good. Now, it looks like a majority of us got that one right. That one's, I don't want to say easy, but that's probably like a 1-block difficulty question. If y'all are razor sharp and ready to get an 800 perfect score tomorrow, you'll show me that you can get this one right. I know Reese is going to get this one right. Take right around a minute, something around that here. Putting a timer. Let's go. All right, Jenna, be quick. Another 10, 15 seconds here. All right, boys and girls, let's try this question together. I do want to say, if I'm ever having to FOIL out x cubed like that, I already don't think it's going to require that. The SAT almost never requires something that intense in terms of just like calculation. So I'm already leaning towards this. Sorry, B and C. But what's the skill at hand here? I know Justin saw it. Remember, on tomorrow's test, anytime something is factorable, what must you do? anytime something is factorable, look for a GCF. Look for something that you can factor out. Really, this is going to be y plus 12 all over x minus 8 plus, what about this right side? That's y, x minus 8. And then on the bottom here, what can I factor out? There's a few ways to look at it, but you could factor out an xy, and that would be x minus 8. Again, as a GCF. At that point, there's a few different things you could do, but when you're adding fractions, you need common denominators. Thus, what is this guy missing on the left-hand side? This guy's missing an xy. Again, an xy, top and bottom. At which point, what's going to happen? Well, distributing that, you have xy squared plus 12xy. Sorry, I botched the writing there. Plus on the right hand side, distributing that's xy minus 8y all over xy x minus 8. Okay, so now what? I'm praying that that's correct, and I'm looking at the answer choices, and something does kind of resonate with me. 12xy plus xy gives me 13xy, so that piece is definitely good. The minus 8y is there, and the xy squared is there, and the denominator is there. Just I didn't FOIL it out. I'm done. It is answer choice C. Very good. Any questions on that one? That one's a 3 block for sure. But I'd rather you guys make that mistake with me now than tomorrow. If you have any questions on that, if you want me to clear that up a little bit more, I'm happy to answer, but we can always come back. I have another adding fraction question on the right-hand side here, but I'm going to skip that. You can always do that later for homework or whatever. Let's keep going. Another skill that we need to work on, keep in mind, that was all least common denominator, adding fractions. Now I want to work on this skill. Go ahead and try this. This is from a non-calculator. You have right around a minute 25 here. Please go. Jake, I saw you were answering all the previous questions. What happened, man? It's getting hard, huh? Oh, yeah? All right. Wake up, Jake. Wake up. All right, good. Jake's just hopping on the bandwagon with Noah. All right, it's a safe bet. Boys and girls, just another 30 seconds, 10 seconds, 15 seconds here, and I'm going to get into it. All right. So what do we do for this question? Well, what Chase sees is that when you're adding fractions, you need common denominators. So right off the bat, I need to tack on an x plus 2, an x plus 2, an x plus 3, an x plus 3. At which point, you have 1 over, what's x plus 3 plus x plus 2? 2x plus 5 all over x squared plus 5x plus 6. And why did this question make it to this study guide? It's because we need to remember another operation with fractions: keep, change, and then flip. 1 over anything is really its reciprocal, but also keep, change, and then flip to x squared plus 5x plus 6 all over 2x plus 5. Boys and girls, the answer is B. 10 seconds left here to ask any questions or any concerns, and I'm moving to number 10. If you want to get started on 10 now, go ahead. Last skill with fractions, I believe. 20 seconds left. All right, boys and girls, let's take a look at this skill. The reason this one made it to the list, keep in mind the last one was keep, change, flip. Anytime you're dividing a fraction, you multiply by the reciprocal. But why is Brooke looking at this question? Why is this important? Well, it's important because what do you do with fractions set across an equal sign? What can you do with fractions set across an equal sign? You can always cross multiply. At which point you have y equals 77bx. And at that point, how do I get the x alone? Divide everything by 77b. Really slap that stuff to the other side. I do appreciate you guys getting C. It is correct. Cool. So that's a lot of good skills with fractions. Don't mess those questions up. They're free. I'm going to keep rocking. If you want me to slow down or go back, just let me know. But let's come over here to our skills of lines. I'm pretty upset with a lot of you guys because we keep forgetting what to do with lines. It's so free, but we got to remember. Go ahead, try number 13 real quick. This is a classic question. Who's going to get this first? Chase, Jake, or Noah? Let's see. Derek is up there too. Derek, show me what you got. All right. So good job, guys. I'm not upset anymore. My depression has lifted. Let's take a look at this one. If you're still working, obviously keep going, but it's asking for the y-intercept, and I'm kind of stuck. I don't have much information from the graph. Remember, from the table. Anytime I'm kind of stuck or confused with a line question, what do I instantly do? I instantly come up with the y equals mx plus b. Therefore, we first should probably look for the m, the rise, over the run. Remember, it's y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. But more than that, the easier way for me is it's going down 6 over 2. And then the slope would be negative 6 over 2. That's a slope of negative 3. Cool. At that point, I have y equals negative 3x plus b. Okay, I'm kind of screwed because I have 3 unknowns. How can I ever solve something with 3 unknowns? Jake's on it. Jake knows that you could plug something in. Remember, when you have a coordinate, plug it in. Right? So when I plug this in, this is really plug in any coordinate. I have 8 equals negative 3 times negative 2 plus b. At which point, that's really 8 equals 6 plus b. B equals 2. Oh, wow. The y-intercept was C. Y-intercept was 2. Cool. Any questions on that? Let me know. When you're ready, come down here for number 16, just reminding you about parallel and perpendicular lines. Take a look at both 16s on different non-calcs. Go ahead and take a peek at those. What's the other one, Chase? Go ahead, Jenna. I know, Chase. We're playing. So if you're working, keep working. But Olivia, What do you do with perpendicular lines? Perpendicular lines have opposite reciprocal slopes. So if this is 2y equals negative 18x, really the slope is y equals negative 9. So if the slope is negative 9, what's the opposite and reciprocal of negative 9? It's C. Good. Good. So that's perpendicular. Again, perpendicular is opposite reciprocal. But what about 16 on the right? Parallel lines have same slopes. Bang. That's nothing for us. Again, perpendicular is opposite reciprocal. Parallel is same slope. I have some more good questions on here. So 2 more good line questions. If you're weaker on these, maybe we come back for them towards the end, but or just work them out tonight before tomorrow. But for now, if y'all are ready, let's come down here to this stuff. First of all, we're going to do a bunch of these just because it's going to be all over the test tomorrow. Go ahead and try this. Aiden, let's see what you get. Yeah. All right, guys. All right, relax. You're showing off. Yeah. No one knows that when I distribute this, it's 5x plus 5 equals 5x plus 5. When does 5x plus 5 equal 5x plus 5? Or really, if I subtract 5x from both sides, when does 5 equal 5? Tiago, when does 5 equal 5? Always. That's infinitely many. Let's keep rocking. Come on down here. We're going to do a bunch more of those, and then we'll come back more for inequalities. Let's go. 10 seconds. Yeah. Guys, remember, if I have a line with a y-intercept of 1 and a positive slope of 4, and then I have another line with that same slope but different y-intercept, are they going to ever hit? Hell no. They're never going to hit. It's A, exactly. Good job, Jenna. Let's keep going. Come on over here with me. Come over here I got a bunch of these, man. I got a bunch of these. Try this one on the left-hand side. 10 seconds. Hopefully my clicking is helping you. I know Hannah loves that. There we go, Chase. That one's one solution. You're right. Good. Remember, again, if I distribute this, I have 4x minus 8 equals negative 2x minus 8. Now, this question, remember, if this one has a positive slope like that, and this one has a negative slope like that, anytime lines have different slopes at all, if the slopes are different, they will hit. They will hit. Very good. So that's good there. Last few questions on this topic. Try, when you're ready, over here. 10 seconds. Nicole, let's see what you get on this one. JP, get this one right. Come on. You want that 800, right, JP? Ooh, Jake beat Noah. Good. 10 more seconds here. Good, Maya. Good. So guys, this answer is in fact D. Why? Well, if you take a look at it, I forgot who mentioned it, but they said the word multiple the other day. Multiple. Isn't this times 12? Isn't this times 12? Isn't this times 12? In other words, aren't these just multiples of each other? If they're multiples of each other, they're the same damn thing. If I pull out that 12, they're the same damn thing. It's infinitely many solutions. Remember, if these two lines are the exact same, how many times do they hit? Always. All those points they hit. It's D. Beautiful. Any questions on those? Obviously, keep them in the bag for me. We can come back for these towards the end if you want more practice. But let's come over here for this. This should look familiar for my October test takers. This is inequalities. I know y'all weren't too happy with this, but it's actually not that hard. It's just shading above or below. We can always go back and practice that with that question, but let's try this one on the right-hand side, if you would. 11. Let's see if you're better with it now. Tiago, let's see what you get on this one. Justin, get this one right. Y'all are crushing it so far. Yeah, I think this one is B, if I recall correctly. I'm going to talk about it real quick. If you're still working, please keep continuing, but let's try this one together. First of all, anytime you're in doubt on a line question, just find the damn equation. This is y equals, what is that? A slope of 3x plus 3. It's going up 3 over 1. So that's my equation of the line. I am shading below. If I'm shading below, if I'm under you, I'm less than you. I'm less than you. At that point, y is less than 3x plus 3 is definitely the answer. Now you need to dig around the answer choices and pick which one is the right one for you. Which one matches up with that? And when you actually do the math and do the digging, you find that it's B. You find that it's B. Remember, Jenna, that these are not in normal y equals mx plus b form. You need to convert them into it. Watch this. When I go to do that, I'll subtract the 3x to the other side. I have negative y greater than or equal to negative 3x minus 3. At that point, how do I get rid of this negative on the y? Multiply a negative to 1 to everything. It would be y is less than or equal to 3x plus 3. Boys and girls, what just happened when I multiplied by a negative? I know Jake knows. Anytime you multiply an inequality by a negative, you must flip the sign. It became less than. And yeah, how do I know how to shade? Well, watch. If this is my line, 3x plus 3, it's saying that y is less than that. Y is less than that. If I have less money than you, then I'm under you. I'm under you. So shade under. If I was greater than you, I'd be above you. I'm gonna keep rocking. I want to get away from lines. We still have a lot to do. Any questions, please let me know. You're welcome, Aiden. No worries. We're coming down to what JP asked for on this study guide, and I thought it was more than appropriate to put a lot of exponents on here because exponents really weren't tested too strongly on the last October exam. So without further ado, show me how good you guys are with exponents. These are all real SAT questions, and I do think it's going to show up tomorrow. Go ahead. 10 seconds here. Hannah's a beast. Good. Good job, Adam. Beautiful. This is what type of question? Forget the reading. Never ever read these questions. It's x to the b over a. Done. It's power over root. Good job, Tiago. Let's keep going. Good job, Jenna. Come over here to the next question on the left. Number 17. This question is directly from the, I think, April exam of this year. Go ahead. Easy one to start. We're going to get harder. JP, let me see what you get on this one. It is 11. Y'all are so smart. What do we do for this question? First of all, through division, we kind of subtract exponents. So it's going to be x to the third, but then 32 divided by 4 is 8. At that point, Jenna's a beast. 8 plus 3 is 11. That's what they're asking for. The C plus the D. Good job. Let's keep rocking. Come on over here for the next question. We'll do the easier one first, and then we'll do the real hard one. Go ahead, try this one when y'all are ready. Jake, you went quiet on me again, man. What's going on? Is it getting kind of hard? All right. All right, I take it back. What about the other Jake? How we doing on this? All right, good. So taking a look at this question, Adam knows that when you have power to a power, what do you do with power of a power? They multiply. That's 1 over 8 times y to the 9 over 8. Remember, with fractions, you just multiply straight across. At that point, when through multiplication, what do we do through exponents, JP? We add. It's y to the 10/8. And if that's the case, 10 and 8 simplifies to y to the 5/4. And like we said earlier, that becomes power over root. It's a. Now, I know that's light work for JP. He wants harder exponent questions for that than that. We're shooting for the stars here. Let's come over here. If y'all can get this next question, this is from the May 2023, this year. I don't think anyone's going to get this one right. Let's see it. Minute 30 here. This is a 3 block. Does Reese get this one right? Let's see. Thirty seconds left here. This question's hard. All right, boys and girls, let's take a look at this one together. I would argue this is probably one of the harder versions of this skill I've ever seen. Let's try together. There's probably a few different ways to do this, so if you don't like the way that I do it, obviously let me know. But what I noticed is that this is first saying square root of 32. So chop up 32. Remember that square roots look for sets of twins. Fifth roots will look for sets of quintuplets. So what I mean by that is this would be 16 and 2. 16 is 4 and 4. This 4, it's a pair of 4s, it's going to escape. So we have 4 root 2. Done. Now, what about the other one? Well, the other one is 5th root of 64, so chop it up. That's really, I think, 2 to the 6. 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2. Of course, you can chop that up any way you want, but we're going to get the same answer. At that point, if a square root looks for sets of twins, a cube root looks for sets of quintuplets. So this would be this set of 5 would leave, so it's going to be 2 fifth root of just 2. And now I have 4 root 2 times 2 fifth root of 2. At that point, Justin is smart because it's definitely between C and D. Answer choices A and B are no bueno. That means not good. At that point, yes, the 4 and the 2 are gone. Now let's talk about simplifying the rest. That's 2 to the 1/2 times 2 to the 1/5. Again, that power over root skill. And Jenna's onto something here. She realizes that through multiplication of exponents, you must add, and to add fractions, you need common denominators. That's really, am I running out of space? 2 to the 5/10, really, times 2 to the, what is that? 2/10? Boys and girls, what's 5 plus 7? I like D. I might have gotten some of you with this one. That's a tough one. Any questions, throw them in the chat before I move off of this one. That's pretty much one of our last exponent skills, at least in terms of pure math, and we're going to interpretation. Can we do another one like this? Yes. Towards the end, Jenna, we'll do another one. That one on the left is very similar to this. We'll come back for that. All right, so boys and girls, now we're here for interpretation. Come over here for this one, please. I'm also recording this, so once we finish, I'm going to send this over to anyone that asks or anyone that wants it. All right, guys, relax. Some of y'all are good with this, okay? Olivia, okay. All right, Chase. Chase is back. We went quiet for a little bit. Good, Tiago. There's Brooke, good. So guys, remember with this form, how does it work? It's F equals P 1 plus or minus R to the T. P for principal, your initial amount. This is your rate, always. And this is your time. So I appreciate you guys saying C because you started with 14. That's your y-intercept. You started with 14. You lost 45%. If something is 45% off, you want the new, I don't know, AirPods. If the new AirPods are 45% off, how much are they on? 55%. Beautiful. It's C. Let's keep rocking. Come on down here for this one. These are easy. Come on, 10 seconds here. Who have I not heard from? Maya, get this one. Good. Good. Remember, for those of us that are reading every single word, let the answer choices guide you. What kind of question is this? It's exponential growth and decay. You started with 500, and it's up 2.5%. What's 2.5%? Well, 250% is 2.5. 25% is 0.25. And what is that? 2.5% is 0.025. Look at B, up just 2.5%, 1.025. It's B. Be careful. Cool. And you might be thinking, why the hell did this weird guy just write that on the screen? How can something be up 150%, giving you 2.5? Well, take a look at this question, number 13. 10 seconds or so here, guys. Come on. Good, Maya. Yeah. Boys and girls, again, you don't really need to read all this mumbo jumbo. Just understand that 10 plants were the initial. It's either C or D. And then if I'm up 140%, if I'm up 140%, that's up 100%. Sorry, that's up 140% from 100%, that's 240%. 240% is better known as 2.4. Good. I'm going to keep rocking. I'm going to skip this question. We can always come back. Another really good one. A lot of us have missed this one in our practice. But let's come down here to another skill that's going to show up tomorrow for sure. And too many of us miss these easy ones. Come over here for this one, number 32. I want to speed up a little bit just because we got to get more. Good. Y'all are too clever. I can't get you. How do you find a y-intercept? You set the x to 0. If you set the x to 0, Hannah knows that 3 to the 0 is what? 3 to 0 is 1, and 1 plus 9 is 10. Beautiful. Good job. Now, we're going to do just one or two more of these. To be honest, this one's kind of hard. This is now a harder version. Now try number 29 when you're ready. No one's going to get this one right. What happened to answer choice D? Well, it wasn't right anyways. What's up, John? You can have a negative exponent. A negative exponent puts things on the bottom. Boys and girls, for those of us choosing A, I would ask you to reconsider. I'm going to talk about it. So first of all this stuff is, remember that all of these forms are equivalent. When they use that verbiage, and we're going to talk about this with parabolas in just a second, when they use that verbiage of equivalent forms, every single one of these three answer choices is equivalent. They're all the same, actually. But you must follow their instructions, my friends. They want the y-intercept. Which one of these displays or conveys the y-intercept? I don't think a single person. Okay, two of us said B. It's B. B as in boy. Why? Well, because yes, all of these are equivalent. That's cute. But which one of them shows the y-intercept? Going back to what we said, P times R to the T. The principal, the initial, was 1/9, because if you plugged in 0, remember, how do you find an y-intercept? You set the x to 0. If you plug in 0 here, 3 to the negative 2. What is 3 to the negative 2? Keep in mind, this was calculator section. I probably could have told you that. But even without a calculator, we know that that's 1/9. Which one of these answer choices displays 1/9? B. If I didn't do a good job explaining that, please let me know. But I'm going to move on. Cool. I have one more here if you want to practice with that, but I got some juicy boys over here. These are all underneath my interpretation little lesson. Right on 10 seconds, 15 seconds here. Sit up in your seats, guys. We're almost halfway. Good job on the last one, JP. Yeah. So guys, for this one, I do like C. If something is up 30%, if I eat a lot of Doritos and pub subs, I gain 30% of my body weight. I'm at 130%. Everything starts from 100%. Really, that's 1.3. Now, I see some of us saying D, 0.3%. 0.3 would be 30% on, 70% off. That's if I lost 70% of my body weight. It would be nice, but not the case here. Let's keep rocking. Come on over here for this one, an easy one for y'all. Right around 10 seconds. Noah, Hannah, eat this up. Let's go. Good. So a lot of us are not really reading the question, which is a good thing. You can recognize that, yeah, this is in that y equals mx plus b form. And it's asking about each month or per month, per each. What are those words for? They're words for the slope. And what is the slope? It's 10. That one's pretty nice. Now the next ones aren't going to be so nice. Logan, show me what you got on this one, exponential growth and decay. Justin's good at these too. Justin, let me see what you get. So what is this question asking about? Well, yeah, it's saying that, yeah, this person started with 12 water hyacinths, and then it's doubling, but doubling what? Every 6 days. If I had an amount of days, let's just say 50 days, it would double how many times? Well, divide that by 6, it would double probably 8 times. But yeah, it's every 6 days. I'd really like B here. Cool. That's a good one. I'm just gonna put this up. Who knows if it'll show up tomorrow? It's a little bit rare, but it's due time that it does. Taking a look at this form, I'm just gonna do this one with you just to save some time. If I have y equals 0.439d plus 14.7, we've done this question a million times at this point. Remember that if d goes up by 1, this goes up by 0.439. That's the whole point of the slope. Remember, this is like over 1. When this runs 1, when d runs 1, y goes up the slope. But this question's backwards. This question's saying, what is the increase in the depth to increase the pressure by 1? Reese knows this one. Reese knows that, oh, if I increase the, if I increase the y, or if I increase the p by 1, d will go up by the reciprocal. Reciprocal. I'm going to say that one more time for everyone in the back. When d goes up by 1, this goes up by 0.439. That's just what slope does. Whereas when y goes up by 1, or when it goes just in reverse, when the pressure goes up by 1, again, when p goes up by 1, the d will go up by 1 over 0.439, the reciprocal. Who would ever think that? Crazy. All right. So if you have any questions on that, obviously let me know, but I am going to move on just for the sake of time. And if you take a look at the bottom of the screen, where are we headed? Brooke's favorite. We're headed for circles. Boys and girls, let's get started with this first question. I've gotten a lot of us with this question. Go ahead, don't get it wrong. Definitely showing up in some capacity tomorrow. Can Reese get this one right? Can Tiago get this right? Olivia, can you get this right? Guys, please do not choose A. Yeah. Good job, Reese. Cool. So for this question, there is really no way to do this without just digging through answers. I know that a lot of us chose A. To be honest, it's the most common answer I see on this, but please draw something. That's a center of 8, 8, and a radius of 4. 8, 8 might be here, and a radius of 4 would put me something like this. It's kind of the worst answer, no offense, just because it's not even touching nothing. It's not good. And the drawing really helps us see that. Can we try the answer choices? Some of us said B. B's okay. Let's try. B would be a center of 8, 4. 8, 4 puts me here with a radius of, remember, R is 4 here. So that would be, I don't know, something like that. Is that right? Y-axis? No. Boys and girls, the answer is actually C. C. Reese was the first to get that one right because she knows that 4, 9 puts me up here. 4, 9 is up there with a radius of 4. Bada bing, bada boom. C. We're going to try another one similar to that. Don't let me get you, all right? Try 29 on the left. Good thing we're making these mistakes tomorrow or today, not tomorrow. Boys and girls, let's try this one together. First of all, just instinctually, the center is negative 3, 4, so it's got to be x plus 3 squared plus y minus 4 squared. I really don't see many people answering A or C, and that's probably a good thing because they're wrong. Really, just based off the center, they're wrong. Now, if we are good test takers here, we know that for not just test takers, but also the formulas are squared, are squared. Are we going to leave the answer in a square root like that? Do you think it's going to stay in a square root? Nah, it's R squared. The answer is D. Turn me up, Noah. So what I would say there is, yeah, I mean, that's a good question. And if I really wanted to double check my answer, if I really wanted to be sure, you know what Hannah's going to do? Hannah's going to take that answer, really that coordinate, and plug it in. Remember, anytime you have a coordinate, inside of that coordinate is an X and a Y that you can just smash in and check. And I promise, when you check that in, it gives you 10. Good. Good. All right, so let's keep rocking. If you take a look at the bottom of the screen, you should feel a chill over your spine as I show you these. This showed up 2 singular times on the last October exams, and y'all still got it wrong. Don't do it again. Try these. Number 7, let's go. This is light. Holy shit. All right, guys, relax. That was really fast. Yeah, the second you see this skill, I don't know how y'all are doing it that fast, but the second I see this skill, this is the x squared minus 10x, and in the words of Olivia, plus blank plus y squared plus 6y plus blank equals 2. What's this skill called? Completing the square, b over 2 squared. Brooke knows that you're adding 25 here, you're adding 9 here, and if you added 34 to the left side, you must add 34 to the right side. That's x minus 5 squared plus y plus 3 squared equals 36. That's the center 5 comma negative 3 and a radius of 6. Tiago, please tell me we have that down. Please. The answer is C. Now, if you guys are so smart and you're able to do that so fast, let me see this one. It is calculator on, but I would ask that you don't use your calculator. Not much harder, it's just fractions. Y'all hate fractions. Noah, be careful, man. Yeah, so that's why we're not getting 800s. That's why. Jake, leave him alone. Boys and girls, please watch along. It really is the same skill. Watch. We have x squared plus x plus blank plus y squared plus y plus blank equals 199 over 2. At which point you don't see it, but what's the b value here? B over 2 squared. What's 1 over 2 squared? 1/4. Again, 1 over 2 squared is 1/4. If I just added 1/2 and if I just added 1/4 and 1/4 to the left side, I really added 1/2 to the left side. What must I add to the right side? The same damn thing. At that point, 199 plus 1 is 200 over 2. That's really 100. And remember that that's equal to r squared. R squared, thus r would be 10. The answer here is 10. Cool. I hope that shows up tomorrow, but just because it's shown up so much recently, I don't even know if it will. Let's keep rocking. Some more stuff here. I don't know if angles like this will show up tomorrow, but I might as well just talk about them briefly. Why am I plugging in 1? Why am I plugging in 1? Why are you plugging in 1? I'm adding, I don't know if this answers your question, but it's b over 2 squared. Remember, the value there in front of the variable is a 1. So it's b over 2 squared, 1 over 2 squared. And then, yeah, cool. Now, take a look at these two angle questions right here, guys. I don't know if this will show up, but it showed up last year, and it's a freebie if you know it. Some of us remember from geometry, if an angle in the back of the eye, doubled to the front. So that's 110 degrees. It's B. It's called the retina scale. The angle in the back of the eye is doubled in the front. Good job, guys. Come over here for 36. A few ways to do this one, but I'll show you the fastest way. Remember that if this is a radius, what are they asking for? They're asking for this angle X. In that case, if this is a radius there, then that's also a radius. Tiago knows that that's an isosceles triangle. If that's 25, then that's also 25. Aiden, if that's 25, this big fat angle is 50 degrees. Now, again, if that's 50 degrees in the back of the eye, what are we in the front of the eye? 100. Very good. That angle right there in black is 100 degrees. And if you're wondering, Brooke might be scratching her head. She's like, oh, well, what about this arc? They're 1 to 1. If this is 100 degrees, that's also 100 degrees. No, Jake, they're the same. This is 100 degrees, that's 100 degrees. Cool. So that is good there. Kind of it's okay, Jake. All right, guys, relax. These are good angle questions inside of circles. I didn't put any angle questions on here, any triangle angle questions, but if you want to do them, I'd be happy to do a few at the end. But also, one skill that's been showing up every test this year, really 2 or 3 times this year already, is this. I know Logan knows this. Does everyone else know this? What is the slope of this line here? You take a look at the chat. Logan's telling us that it's 4/3. Why? Well, remember that it's a skill back from Algebra 2. Algebra 2 or Geometry 2. Remember that if this is a line with a slope of -4/3, again, if you just take a look at that blue line has a slope of -4/3. If that's -4/3, what's the slope of a tangent line? Opposite and reciprocal. And if you care, it makes a perpendicular perfect 90-degree angle. That's useful too sometimes. Thus, it's not -4/3, it's 3/4. Good. I have some arc questions. I'm getting some kind of vibes that arcs might show up on tomorrow's test. So we can do those in a little bit. I just want to get through some of the bigger things first. Coming down here, I want to talk about something. And really, this is the first thing. And if you take a look, this is under the dimensional shift skill. In other words, if I shift the dimensions around, if I double the radius, if I half the height, if I double the dimensions, this has been showing up a lot lately. And this just showed up in October just a week ago or 2 weeks ago. Remember, I'll help you guys with this one, and then the next one, y'all are on your own. Remember, if this trapezoid is 8 times each side of the previous trapezoid, understand that, yes, these are similar trapezoids. If I multiply it by 8, you know what? 99% of your friends are going to choose 8A here. How many times larger is this trapezoid? It's 8 times as big. Nope, it ain't. Remember that because this is an area question, because this is two-dimensional, yes, it's grown in the length by 8, but hasn't it also grown in the height or the width by 8? So you have to multiply that conversion factor twice, one in the x and one in the y, one in the length, one in the width. The answer is D. In fact, it would be 64 times as big. Good. Now, I teach this all the time. Really, you have 2 questions here on the left-hand side. I don't think this one's on the, or it is in the doc. Both of these are really good. It really doesn't matter which one we do, but this one's probably the easier one to teach. Number 23. Go ahead and try this one, guys. Yeah. Some of us are good at this skill. Yep. Jake, if you did this one already, do this one right above. Guys, if you know 23 already, try the one above. It's a little bit backwards. Yeah, no, Jenna, you didn't love this one. Logan, that's for 23. They're both 23, Jake. Yeah. I think 23 is B as in boy. Just 10 seconds for these two, and then I'm going to move. If you've already gotten these, try the ones above too. Those are pretty cool too. All real questions, of course. Top answer's got to be B, I think. B as in boy. I haven't done it yet, but I think just by looking at it, it's got to be B. B as in boy. So let's work through them. I'll work through the top one, or I want to do the bottom one first, to be honest. It's just easier to teach from. The bottom one, a certain area has 4.36 square miles, and I'm trying to go to square yards. Yards are smaller, so the number should get much bigger. So remember, 4.36 times what? Well, I know the conversion is 1 to 1760, but these are square miles. These are just miles. So how many times do I have to apply that conversion? I have to apply it twice. Once for the length and once for the width. When I do that, when you put this in your calculator, you do get D, Brooke. Very good. Again, this is two-dimensional. So I need to apply that conversion twice. Whereas if you take a look at the top one, yeah, it's kind of the same thing, just in reverse. You have this big square yardage, and you want to go to miles. That number should get much, much smaller. Think about what a square mile is. A mile in the X and a mile in the whatever. That's a lot of space. Now, what's my point? Well, I would do 11,863,808 divided by 1760. And you could square that, to be honest. That's kind of the smartest way to do that. Or if you're not confident with it, just do it once. And then get that answer and then divide that by 1760 again. Again, why? Because you need to apply that conversion in the X and the Y, in the length and the width to get into square miles. The answer here, I'm not even looking at my calculator. These tests are designed for non-calc. It's B. It's got to be. Questions on that? Gotta be. Jenna, how are we feeling? Did either of those make sense? Did any of that make sense? Cool. Let's keep rocking. I don't want to waste too much time there. Come on down here to quadratics, everyone's favorite. Quadratics, a really identical question just showed up on the October exam just a week or two ago. They always show up. Come over here for this one. I know y'all can rock through this. This is vertex form. 10 seconds. Boo. Aiden, 10 seconds. Come on. Justin, what did we get here? Yeah, it's D. Remember, this is vertex form. Y equals AX minus H squared plus K. Vertex form is useful because it gives you the maximum or the minimum or the vertex. It's D. It's been shifted 0.25 to the right and up 6. Next one. Come over here. This question is almost identical to the one that showed up on the October exam. 27, guys. Quickly. Hannah, get this one right. Both Noahs, get this one right. Good job, JP. Logan, we did the one like this the other day. Yeah. Yeah, good job. Remember that, again, it's saying equivalent forms. I promise, if you FOIL all these 4 out, Chase, they will all give you the original. It's not going to help. What you have to do is you have to answer the question that they want you to answer. In that case, which one gives the vertex? Which one displays the vertex, the vertices? It's A. Let's keep going. I have more of those, to be honest, but I don't want to waste too much time. Like, if you look at 29, it's identical to that question. I think actually that's the October exam. Yeah, that's the one from October. But look at this one. Number 30 from a calc. Come on. Star, where you at, man? Wake up. Yeah, shoot, I didn't even mean to do this question, but yeah, it is again D, the vertex. Which one did I want to do? It is D. Good job, guys. I thought I had one with x-intercepts. Dang it. Okay, well, we can do one later. Let's keep rocking. Another skill that's got to show up tomorrow is this one. And I know most of us are pretty good with this at this point, but would you know what to do with this? Let's get an answer. You guys have right around a minute, minute 10, minute 15. Let's go. Yeah, Chase, I don't know. Tiago, give me an answer here, man. Let's see it. Man, we're all over the place with this one. Maya, what'd you get? Justin, what'd you get? Man, we're really all over the place. Chase, what'd you change your answer to? Olivia, what'd you get? Boys and girls, this is quadratics. And remember, whenever you're in quadratic and something doesn't factor, are there two numbers that multiply to one that add to that multiply to negative one that add to negative two? No. If it doesn't factor, we instantly go to quadratic formula. Please watch along. Good. We have x equals opposite b plus or minus square root of b squared minus 4 times 1 times negative 1 all over 2a. At that point, Derek knows that we have 4 minus will go plus. We have 2 plus or minus root 8 all over 2. But Brooke knows that you cannot leave a radical unsimplified on the SAT. This will be 2 plus or minus root 2. Sorry, 2 plus or minus 2 root 2 all over 2. Now, divide. I get 1 plus or minus rad 2. The answer, n plus k is 3. Bang. Remember, they can ask this a lot of different ways. That's quadratic formula. Please watch out for that. Any questions on that? Obviously, I'm happy to do more of those. It shows up. It's definitely going to show up tomorrow. So be ready for quadratic formula. Let's keep going. Another skill that I worry will show up tomorrow is this one. When they want exactly one solution. Try this top one, but if you want, try this one as well. Give me the value of k for both of these. What would give you exactly one solution? In fact, I'll change this to minus. Actually, I can make this plus. Give me both. There's actually two values of k here. Good job, guys. Reminder here that if it says exactly one solution, think about it. If I have x plus 4, x minus 3 equals 0, there are two solutions there, negative 4 and 3. But they want just one solution. That suggests to me that this must have been a perfect square. Really, this must be 2x plus 3 squared, or 2x minus 3 squared. suggesting that this would be, yeah, just one answer. So when you FOIL that, this would have to be 12. Again, if I FOIL 2x plus 3, 2x plus 3, you would understand that boom, boom, that middle term would have to be 12. The answer here is 12. Yes, you can do discriminant here. You can. And actually, we're going to talk about discriminant right now. If you're curious about this bottom one as well, this would have to be 6 or negative 6. K would have to be 6 or negative 6. Again, why? Because it would be x plus 3 squared or x minus 3 squared. Either of those would work. Again, K would be negative 6 or positive 6. If that makes no sense at all, please jot that down and we'll come back for that towards the end. No sense. Okay, we can come back. All right, come down here for quadratics. There's more. There's more. First of all, this stuff is all over the test. Someone just mentioned discriminants, so we might as well talk about this. Some of us are doing this in Algebra 2 or pre-calc right now, so let's go ahead and try this one. 10 seconds on the clock, and if you want to do both versions, there's 23 and 22 back to back. This is calculator. Guys, are we saying C for the one on the left for 23? Yeah, the left is A. It's definitely A. Wait a second. Yeah. Guys, aren't these both D? Am I tripping? Yeah, Logan, am I tripping? All right. Yeah. All right. Boys and girls, if you don't know how to do these questions, listen up. First of all, could you, some of us don't know the discriminant, some of us don't remember the discriminant. Go to quadratic formula. Go to quadratic formula. I promise if you did quadratic formula, you'd understand that it'd be plus or minus square root of, I don't know, whatever it is, square root of a negative number. I promise for both of these, it'd be a negative number. Can you square root a negative? Not really, not without imaginaries. It would be D and A, it would both be 0. Now, Jake remembers the discriminant. He is so well versed with quadratics and ready for this test. He's going to bang out an 800 tomorrow on the test because he knows that the discriminant says b squared minus 4ac can be greater than 0, equal to 0, or less than 0. Greater than 0 is 2 real solutions, equal to 0 is 1 real solution, and less than 0 is no real solutions. If you did discriminant for both of these, for either of these, I promise you would get 0. I just did the one on, yeah, they're both negative. This one I think was negative 16 for the discriminant, and this was negative 220 on the discriminant, both suggesting that that's less than 0. It's that. Again, if that made no sense, please jot that down. We'll come back. Now, the next one that we should do is probably this one. Y'all are good at quadratics. Show me that you can get this question right. Two different ways to do this. This one's easy for you. Please go ahead 13 and 18. This is non-calc. Put those graphing calculators down. Guys, no one's answering. What's going on? We sleeping? Come on. All right, let's take a look at this. First of all, what is the minimum value? What is the minimum value? There's two different ways to look at this. Guys, write this down if you don't know this. In standard form like this, how do you find the vertex? Remember that this is a parabola. How do you find the vertex? It's negative b over 2a, comma, f of negative b over 2a. So this is kind of the slow way to do this, to be honest, but this always works in standard form. You would do negative 4 over 2. That's a x coordinate of negative 2 for the max or min. At that point, what does f of mean? Plug this back into the function. You'll get 0. The answer is D. Now, if you're a clever young person, you will understand that, oh my gosh, that's factorable. That's x plus 2 squared. Wow, that is shifted 2 to the left. Just like that. That's the coordinate negative 2 comma 0. What's the minimum? What's the lowest this function ever goes? It's D. Yes, that's what you would do. You'd plug in negative 2 for x. Very good. Again, if you want to practice negative b over 2a, be my guest with 13, but I'd rather move on for now. Taking a look at 18, I want to show you this. This just showed up on April's exam, and it does show up once in a while, so it's probably worth doing. Yes, you could FOIL this out and do the same thing that we just did in the previous question, negative b over 2a. I would not advise it, though. There's a faster way. Does Brooke know how to do this the right way? Go ahead. Yeah. Guys, I'm just going to work through it for the sake of time. What do we do for a question like this? Well, it's in this factored form for a reason. They're telling you that 10 and negative 13 are your zeros. So 10 is here, negative 13 is here. Thus, we have a parabola like this. What's halfway between negative 13 and 10? Chases back, it's negative 1.5 in the x. If it wanted the y value, we could find it by plugging it in, but it just wants the x value at which it reaches the minimum. That's D. Could you FOIL this out and do negative b over 2a? You could. Cool. All right, boys and girls, I need to move on. There's still a lot that I want to do. First of all, there's systems of equations. You guys are pretty good at this point, so I'm going to move off of this. Do this for homework or do this for practice later. Factoring is also really important. Gotta kind of skip this as well. There's the AC method or the rainbow method style questions over here. So if you need practice with that, come for these. But I want to come down here for some statistics stuff, some standard deviation stuff. Didn't show up on the last test. Well, it did, but not standard deviation. I want to see if you guys can get some of this right. Here's an easier question on the right-hand side, 23. They're both pretty easy, but try 23 first. Go ahead. I know Jenna knows how to do this. I'm just going to do a few more questions, and then I'm going to switch to Q&A. Good, good. Adam knows that standard deviation is the deviation from the standard. In other words, this data set is much more tight-knit around the standard. Do I have to stretch my arms that far left and that far right for this? Not really. It's pretty tight-knit. The standard deviation is small, whereas data set S has a fat standard deviation. I got to stretch my arms all the way left, all the way right, in which case the standard deviation of R is less than the standard deviation of S. Very good job, guys. I'm impressed. Now, I'm just going to do one more of those, just because I'm pretty sure it's going to show up tomorrow. Try this one on the left-hand side, please. Number 30, deviation from the mean, Good job, Aiden. You've always been good at this. Good. Justin, you have this locked? Standard deviation? Olivia, how is this for you? Good. Good. So yeah, the answer here is indeed A. Why? Because yeah, this has a bigger range. Range is high minus low, and it's more spread. It's more spread. I have to reach my arms all the way left, all the way right. Whereas Q is kind of tighter data set. I don't have to stretch my arms all that far. It's A. Beautiful. Let's come over here for, I want to do box and whisker plot just because it can show up. Take a second to look at number 20. I'm going to kind of work the next ones out with you. So if you want to just listen along, please do. If you want, just mute me and just work through it. It says, which one of the following measures must be greater for the tanker than the dry bulk? Well, I mean, the range is much bigger. Those red bars are the range. So the range is definitely much bigger, the high and the low. But what about the median? The median is that middle bar in the middle. Chase, you're asking about mean and median. This doesn't help you with mean at all. You cannot tell the mean from these, but you can tell the median. It's actually C here. Cool. That's good there. I'm going to switch to Q&A in just a second because I have some last few questions. If you guys want to stay long after this, I'm free to stay. So I'm happy to stay long, but I know you guys want to spend all your Friday night with me. I don't blame you. But take a look at this skill. This skill just showed up on the October exam in a graph form. This is the median skill. How do you find the median from a question style like this, from a frequency table? What do I always say? It's the middle. What do I always say? Slap it off. Slap 10 off the top. Slap 10 off the bottom. Slap 13 off the top. Slap 13 off the bottom. Slap 30 off the bottom. Slap 30 off the top. What's my final median? Slap that. It's 24. Bang. It works on a graph too. I'm going to keep rocking. If this makes no sense to you, please jot it down. I'm going to come back. What's that famous skill that we love for these types of systems? 10 seconds here. Give me an answer. 10 seconds. Yeah, look at that. When they're not asking for X, when they're not asking for Y, what can you do? Sometimes you can add down, sometimes you can subtract down. It's called a puzzle. You just got to puzzle it together. You just add straight down. This would be 5x plus, 5x minus 2y equals negative 11. Bang, D. Could you do this the normal way and then plug it back in? You could. I don't hate it. Really cool percent question on the right, but I want to show you this one. Number 22. Stick with me, guys. Last few minutes. Come on. For this question, you've started with $8,000 and then you're losing 15%. Start. If you're down 15%, how much do you still have? How much do you retain? B and D. Now, if you're up 22%, remember, I am 100% of myself. If I'm up 22%, it's B. Good job, Brooke. Good job, Maya. I'm going to keep rocking. These are kind of my weirder questions. Come on down here for really I squared. We should do I squared. I'll come back for that in a minute. What about this skill? I know this is going to show up tomorrow. Remember my formula. It's sine of x equals cosine of 90 minus x. And that's not really fun to understand, but what's easy is the sine of one angle is always equal to the cosine of the other angle. Good job, guys. The sine of one angle is equal to the cosine of the other angle. So if I have sine of 50, Olivia, what's the opposite of sine of 50? Cosine of 40. And if y'all are smart, you'll get 19 right in right around 10 seconds. Take a look at the bottom of the screen. Jake, no, Jake, no. Hannah, what did we say? We said that the formula is sine of x equals cosine of 90 minus x. This is a pre-calc skill. Remember that doesn't, I don't really care about the formula too much. What I care about is the sine of one angle is equal to the cosine of the other. In that case, if the sine of one angle is 4/5, what's the cosine of the other? Same thing. Done. It's just 4/5, not 5/4. Jake. Cool. Last few questions, and I'm switching to Q&A. I apologize for speeding up a little bit. I just want to make sure that you guys see this stuff. What about multiplicity? I know y'all in AP Pre-Calc are seeing multiplicity. Understand that this 0, and this 0 are important. This is x plus 3. This is, what is that? X plus 1, and that's x minus 2. Those of us in Algebra 2 haven't seen this yet, or at least you're starting to see this right now. But really, this is a multiplicity of 1. Multiplicity of 1 goes straight through. Multiplicity of 2 bounces off. And a multiplicity of 3 squiggles through, but that's not important. This is straight through. This is a bounce, so that'll be squared. This is a bounce, so that'll be squared. That's a bouncy boy. What's the answer? Good job. Really impressive, Derek. Good job. Last few. Take a look at this question on the right. Although there is algebra to do here, one thing that you guys need to watch out for on absolute value questions and square root questions is extraneous solutions. I think I got one of you guys with this question the other night. Why? Well, yeah, the algebra might show you 2 of the answers. I think, if I forget the answer here, but I think the algebra shows you 2 of these answers. But when you plug one of them in, it don't work. Okay, so watch with me. Let's do it. When I plug -2 in, I get root 16 plus 2 equals -2. Really, square root of 16 equals -4. Nah, a square root won't ever equal a negative. So I don't like 1. This one doesn't work either when you plug it in, but 5 does work. Let's try 5. 14 minus 5 is root 9 plus 2 equals 5. Checks out. The only answer here is C. Be really careful. Again, for absolute value questions and square root questions, you might want to, Chase, you are doing good. You might want to plug in those answer choices at the end to double check that they actually work. Last questions here. Last questions here are really, we might as well go to this again. For those of us in Algebra 2, you have not seen this yet, but hopefully it buys you one more point on tomorrow's test. Conversions between radians and angles. Logan, you're too quick, man, too quick. How do I do this? Well, if I have 540 degrees, really, how do I get into radians? What is 1 pi radian? 1 pi radian is equal to 180 degrees. Exactly. So what I do is I just divide by 180, and yeah, it's 3 radians, done. So again, 1 pi radian is 180 degrees. And if that's the case, how did I get out of degrees and into radians? I divided by 180. But you guys are smart. If I want to get out of radians and into degrees, what would I do? For number 20, non-calc there, that would be 7/12 times 180. Again, listen to that or write that down. To get out of degrees and into radians, divide by 180. To get out of radians into degrees, multiply by 180. I hope I didn't mess up that order. All right. So that's about it on here. I did skip around a little bit. Some of these questions are pretty good. Really up here, I skipped I squared. I squared is -1, so use that when it shows up. I also skipped quadratic systems. I have a feeling it's going to show up tomorrow. So if you guys want to stick around and watch me work through that, please do. I want to now open up the chat to any questions that you guys might have. I want to help you the best I can. Go ahead and drop some questions in the chat. I will do them in the order that I get them. If you don't want to stick around and if you want to just bail, please hop out of here. I'm happy that you came. I hope that was helpful for you. To be honest, if you're sitting there and you're thinking, oh, wow, I knew everything today, it's probably a good thing. That's probably a good sign. Hopefully we just bought you 1 or 2 or 3 more questions. 27 on quadratics, and I'm hearing rainbow method. 27 on quadratics. Thanks, guys. Thanks for coming. If you want to stick around, please do. Please do. This is still going to be fruitful. You can watch everyone's others questions and whatnot. You can message me directly or throw it in the chat. Aiden, my pleasure. Thanks for coming. Derek, good luck tomorrow. I'm going to 27 on the quadratics first. 27 on the quadratics first. Where is it? Can we do, on 27 on random. 27 on random. Logan, I don't see it. Up here. Yeah, really hard percent question. Really hard percent question. Guys, stick around if you want to see this one. This one says a number A is 110% greater than number B. My pleasure, Noah. Thanks for coming. And the number A is 110% greater than the number B. So A is equal to 2.1B. Again, how did I do that? That's what I got, Logan. I think that's what I got. Let me see. But 110% greater, that means 210%. So 2.1 times B. B is 90% less than 47. So really for me, that means that B is equal to 10% of 47. So I don't need a calculator. B is equal to 4.7. And if that's the case, plugging 4.7 back in, 2.1 times 4.7. Logan, you are a freak. That is really impressive. That's hard. 3-block percent question. I had to do that before the lesson today because I was worried I'd get it wrong. Next up, guys, I hope that helped. Logan, good job. I'm looking at Chase's question on rainbow method. Of course, I will help you with that. Keep in mind with rainbow method, at any point, if you don't feel comfortable with rainbow method, just go to normal, go to normal quadratic formula. That's okay. So Chase, if this one's okay, to be honest, all 4, I'll just show you. This one's rainbow, and this one's rainbow. But again, you can do quadratic. I'll do it with you. So rainbow method or AC method says multiply this and that when you have a leading coefficient. 3 times -2 is -6. At that point, split that -6 into its parts. Really, remember, it has to add up to +1. At that point, that's positive 3, negative 2. Now, split that bad boy up. It's 3x squared plus 3x minus 2x minus 2. Split that down the middle. Pull out the GCF, Chase. We have 3x, x plus 1 minus 2, x plus 1, 3x minus 2, x plus 1 equals 0. The answers are 2/3 and negative 1. Please tell me that's right. Please tell me the answer choice is right. What's the sum of those? Negative 1 and 2/3 gives me negative 1/3. B. Guys, feel free to call out your questions as well. You don't have to just chat it to me. I'm getting kind of lonely out here. Any other questions you want me to do? I hope that helped. One was number 13, something about quadratic formula. One was number 38. Where? Logan, give me some more info on that. Quadratics? Oh, this top one? This one? Brooke, you gotta let me know where. I'm gonna do 13 on dimensional shift while we look for Brooke's question. This one, Logan. Yep. So remember that for if I've multiplied the figure by 8, if I've multiplied by 8, I haven't just if every side has grown by 8, the length has grown by 8, but the width has also grown by 8. Remember, you have to multiply that conversion factor twice because it's an area. 8 times 8 is D. It's 64 times as big. I don't know if that made sense, but Logan, I'll do the one right under you asked. Brooke, give me that question. I want to help you. So this one, again, Logan, there's almost, yep, I'll do 34 on circles. Logan, this one is, again, they are all equivalent forms. They're all the same. But which one is showing you the vertex? Which one is in vertex form? Yeah, say. If that helped, I'm going to go to circles to help out our friend Maya. 34 on circles. This one. Maya, is it this one? Yep. So remember that when you have a tangent line to a circle, take a look at that pink line and then take a look at this blue line. These lines will always be opposite reciprocal of each other. And you can see why. I mean, don't they make that perpendicular perfect cross? They do. In that case, if this slope, what's the slope of this black line? Negative 4/3. Look, it's going down 4/3. That slope of the blue line is negative 4/3. If that slope of the blue line is negative 4/3, what's our pink line slope? Opposite and reciprocal? Yeah, of course. Brooke, did you still have a question? Logan, I'll come right back to your question. Let me help out Olivia real quick. 34 on statistics. This one, yeah. I apologize, Olivia, you haven't seen this skill before, but it shows up. It's a frequency table. In other words, there are 10 21s, 13 22s, 30 23s, 36 24. So, Olivia, if you really wanted to, you could write out 21, 21, 21, 21, 21, 21, 10 times 13 22s, 30 23s. You could do that, but you're smarter than that. What I would do is just like you would slap one off here, slap one off there, slap one off there, slap one off there, you could do this. This is the fastest way. Watch. Slap 23 off the bottom. Slap 23 off the top. Slap 30 off the bottom, slap 30 off the top, and you have 3 left. It's 24. If you want me to do that again, I'm happy to. Just ask. Logan, do you still want me to do y int? Yep. 29 on y int. Guys, feel free to ask your questions. JP, I want to help you. I have more exponent questions on there. I'm happy to do them. Y-intercept. Where's y-intercept? Oh, up here. Yeah. Logan, again, and you're right. I mean, you're so good at math, but the way that the SAT asks these questions is so weird. Again, every single one of these is equivalent to this. I promise they are. But what's going on here? Well, it's asking for the y-intercept. How do you find a y-intercept? Set the x to 0. So if this is really 0, I have 3 to the negative 2, and that's 1/9. In that case, which one of these forms displays that 1/9 as the initial? Just B. I don't see 1/9 on display in any other answer choice. Logan, give me a thumbs up or something if that makes sense. Why would it be in the front? Because that's exponential form. Remember, exponential form is like $10,000 in the bank for 1.07 to the t. The initial is always there. Brooke, I owe you an explanation. I'm going to head to imaginary numbers. Logan, please tell me if that made any sense at all. Cool. Brooke, which one do you want? 18 or 20? 20 is a foiling question. 18 is an addition question. 18, sure. So 18 does look scary. Remember, don't look at what they're saying. Just know that I squared is equal to -1. If I squared is equal to -1, what's I to the fourth, Brooke? I to the fourth is I squared times I squared. What's -1 times -1? Just 1. So that's really 16 plus 8 plus 4. I'm getting 28. Okay, I owe Maya an explanation, and we're gonna get Chase help on fractions as well. 27 on quadratics, of course. Guys, give me a second. I'm gonna stay long if anyone wants to stay on the phone with me, but yeah, you're free to leave whenever. Let me take a look. Maya wanted 25. Yeah, this one was not easy. This one is not easy. This is an adding fractions question. So if I'm adding fractions, you need common denominators, but the first thing I always look for is something that's factorable. And don't you see a lot of x minus 8s, Maya? A lot of x minus 8s. So that's kind of telling me, man, there's probably something there. At which point I have y plus 12 all over x minus 8 plus y x minus 8 all over. Now, what can you factor out of that? What's the GCF there? There's an x and a y, x, y. Oh, JP, I owe you an explanation on exponents. XY, x minus 8. Again, I GCF'd out that XY. At which point, I'm going to tack on an XY here and an XY here to get common denominators. Maya, from there, understand that this will distribute. So I have xy squared plus 12xy plus xy minus 8y. Again, I distributed. And what does that simplify to? I think it simplifies to C. Maya, give me something there. Tell me if that makes any sense. Cool. JP, I ignored your question. That was very not nice. Let me do yours and then Chase, I got you. Actually, okay. We're gonna help JP. JP has a question on exponents. To be honest, every single one of you should listen to this because exponents are gonna show up tomorrow. JP, which one? This one? Third question in exponents. Oh, it's unnumbered. Yeah, this one. Yo, this is a tough one. Yeah, this one is a tough one. Please listen to this. First of all, what do you do with power of a power? What do you do with power of a power? D is not correct. Power of power, you multiply. So what's 3 times 2/3? That'd be negative 4x to the second. You are correct in choosing between C and D. Now, the problem with that is, what's negative 4 to the 2/3? Remember that this 2/3 would hit this as well. Well, check this out. This is really negative 4 squared, or really, I don't know how you want to see it, but squared cube rooted. Negative 4 squared is cube root of 16. And at that point, you know it's not D. You know it's not D because, yes, that's correct, but where the fuck is that 2 coming from? Excuse my language. Right? That 2 cannot be there when the 16 is also there. So it's not D. You know that it's C at that point. But why? Why is it C? It goes back to something that we talked about earlier. A square root will look for twins. A fifth root will look for quintuplets. A cube root will look for triplets. This is cube root of 2 times 2 times 2 times 2. Pulling out 3 of these, it would be 2 cube root of 2. The answer is C. Tell me if that helps, JP.
Can you go over like the start of that again? I didn't really understand that.
Yeah, of course. I probably could have done a better job explaining that. What I was doing there, Chase, was I was just dealing with the exponent of the variable first. So what do you do with power of a power? You multiply. So what's x to the third to the 2/3? The 3's canceled, it's x to the second. So it has to be C or D. That's really all I was saying.
But then where does the 2x come from? Like 2x's. Where's the 2?
Oh, well, the 2, remember that, I don't know, you said you missed the tail end. You got that piece, right? So 2 cube root of 2. That 2 goes in front of that x squared.
Okay.
Make sense or no?
Yeah.
So like when you have cube root, it looks for groups of 3, and then when you have what, it looks for groups of what?
Look at this question. This
Okay.
square root looked for sets of 2. Remember, I pulled out 2 4s. Whereas my fifth root looked for sets of Makes sense, JP, or no?
Yeah, I get it now.
Beautiful. All right, guys, I owe some explanations. Olivia, I wanted to get to your question. Brooke, did you have a question for me or no? Olivia, where are you? Olivia, you want number, Olivia wants 27 on quadratics. Okay. Is that one that we did or we skipped? Okay, this one. This one, Olivia. Or a different one? The answer was C on the one we just did. So this one wants the vertices on display. Which one of these is in vertex form? Y equals ax minus h squared plus k. Which one of these are in vertex form? Only A, because the vertex would be h and k. Justin, the answer was C for the previous one. Olivia, if any questions, tell me. Chase, I'm going to do 13 right now. No problem. 13. 13 was number this one. Chase, this one? Yeah. So boys and girls, through addition of fractions, what do? Through addition of fractions, you have common denominators. So I'm going to tack on an x plus 2, an x plus 2, an x plus 3, an x plus 3. See you, Justin. Thanks for coming. I hope that helped. From there, that's 1 over 2x plus 5 over x squared plus 5x plus 6. What is 1 over x over y, y over x. 1 over anything is its reciprocal, or you can see it like this. Keep, change, and then flip. So it becomes 1 times x squared plus 5x plus 6 all over 2x plus 5. Cool. Logan, I saw some questions. Call out your questions. It's too far up the chat now. Where is it? Can you go over simplifying square roots? Simplifying square roots. Yeah, so if I have square root of 50, what's square root of 50? Well, chop it up. It's 25 times 2. 25 is 5 times 5. Bye, Olivia. Thanks for coming. 5 times 5. And again, a square root looks for sets of 2. So this would leave. So it would be 5 rad 2. Whereas if I had cube root of 16, what's cube root of 16, JP? That's cube root of 2 times 2 times 2 times 2. Again, a cube root looks for sets of 3. This would be 2 cube root of 2. If that helps, let me know, and I'll move. What if there are multiple things left inside? What if there are multiple things left inside? So if I had root of 50, x to the third, y to the fourth, z to the fifth, what would that be? What would happen? Well, that would be, of course, this would leave as a 5 rad 2. 2 goes into, how many twins are there in x to the third? 1. And 1 gets stuck inside. How many 2s are in 4? Y to the second. And how many 2s in 5? It'd be z to the second, z. And yes, it's all multiplication, Logan. Yeah, I get it. Multiplication. None of this is additive. Guys, for those of us that want to leave, thanks so much for coming. I hope that helps you get 1 or 2 more questions right on tomorrow's exam. If you want to stick around, I'm going to go through a few more questions. The next question I'm going to do is system of equation with quadratics. System of equation with quadratics. You probably want to listen to this. Yeah, you probably want to listen to this. To be honest, both of these questions are identical, so they're the same. Maybe I do one and then later try one. For systems of equations, how do you ever solve a system of equations? You set them equal to each other. or elimination something, right? So I have x squared equals 2x plus 3. Logan, this is light for you. This is x squared minus 2x minus 3 equals 0. X minus 3, x plus 1. 3 and negative 1 are your answers. And some kids are going to choose B here. Don't be that kid. Anyone tell me why 3 is not the answer? Brooke, tell me. That's the X. They want the Y. Be surgical tomorrow. Surgical. If you want the scores you want, you got to be surgical. Plugging 3 back in to either of them, I'm getting D. Any last questions from you guys? I'm happy to stick around. I want you guys to do the best you can.
I have a question on the October test that I took.
Which one?
19.
Oh, non-calc or calc?
Non-calc.
Non-calc. Chase, I understand why you're asking this question. I get it, but at the same time, you're better than this. Remember that if you have a 1, 2, 3 variables, you have 3 variables, you have no idea what to do, but what's hiding inside of that? What's a coordinate?
0. You could plug in the coordinate.
Yeah, instantly just plug in the coordinate. Plug in the X, plug in the Y, and then what's left? just
Okay.
k. Beautiful. So you have 2 equals negative 14, 1/2 to the 0 plus k. What's anything to the 0 power?
1.
1. At this point, adding 14 to both sides, k equals 16. Bang.
Wait, so there would be 2 equals 7 plus k.
No, because this just goes to 1,
Okay.
it's 2 equals negative 14 plus k. How do you get that negative 14 to the other side? You got it.
16. Okay, got it. Thank you.
Of course.
Have a good night.
Thanks, Chase. Thanks for coming. Let me know how it goes tomorrow.
All right.
Could you go over the one that's like right above systems of equations? I didn't see the answer. It's like how many solutions is it?
Right above systems.
Yeah, those. Oh, they're both D, right? Because if you plug it into the quadratic equation, it turns out
Both
it's
gives you
negative.
imaginaries. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Cool. Of course, JP, did that help a little bit? I know most of it's review, but I hope I got you once or twice.
Yeah, it definitely helped. I got stumped a couple times, so
Good.
it's like little
Good.
mistakes.
Yeah. Any last questions, guys?
Oh wait, what does the negative b over 2a give us? Is that the min and the max?
In standard form like this, JP, when you're in standard form, negative b over 2a will give you the x coordinate of the max or the min or the vertex. And by plugging that x value in, it unlocks the y. So if you want me to say that one more time, negative b over 2a gives you the x coordinate. How do you find a y coordinate ever? You plug it back in. So it's f of negative b over 2a.
Perfect, thank you.
All good. Maya, Logan, anything else for you?
No, I think that was it. I was just wondering if there was any other questions you thought might get me a couple more points.
Any last questions?
Like I remember on the in school one, there was that really hard question where it was like comparing two cones or something, and then it was saying like it was trying to compare the radii. Maybe if like comparing volumes or something, when it says one of them is like the factor of another one.
But yeah, I mean, look at this. I have so many of them up here. Look at 12 and 36. This is again that dimensional shift thing. We could really do either of them. They're both good. Listen to this, Logan. My original volume of a sphere was 20. Now, scrolling up to the formulas, what's volume of a sphere? Volume equals 4/3 pi r cubed. Now, what's happened to this sphere? The sphere has been doubled in its radius, not just r, but 2r. So really I have 4/3 pi 2r cubed. Oh, at that point, this cube is going to hit both of them. Really now I have 4/3 pi 8r cubed. How much bigger is my new sphere? It's 8 times as big. What's 8 times 20?
That's a
And with
hard
that,
question.
Why would
yeah,
I
that
do
one's
times
weird. Guys, if you want, try 12. It's even harder, I think. But yeah, ask your question, Logan. I'm sorry.
Why is it 8 times 20 and not like 8 times 4/3 pi times 20? Like,
Oh, okay. Hold on.
oh, because I set it equal to 20 because sphere A.
Watch. I mean, kind of watch. The original was 20. The original volume was 20. My point by circling it, I probably could have done a better job there, is pull that 8 to the front. Really, it's 8 times 4/3 pi r cubed. You kind of said it. It's like, well, if 20 was your original, what's 8 times bigger than 20? What's 8 times 20? 160.
Got it. Okay. Yeah, there was a question on the last one with like cones, and it said like the radius of one, but it was more confusing than the ones I've done with you. It was
Mm.
like, I don't know, it was like a ratio.
Well, yeah, I mean, they can be with a cone, they can say, if I double the radius, but I have the height.
Yeah, it was kind of like that.
Yeah, shows up all the time on the ACT too. Just so you know, number 12 would be 27. You asked me a question. Is there anything else that I think? Logan, I was hesitant. There's a lot that I wanted to put on the study guide, back from the last study guide, from the October study guide, like margin of error, solving for a variable. I really didn't put any solving for the variable on here. These are things that are gonna show up. It's definitely gonna show up.
Got those ones. That's
Yeah,
true.
you're okay with those. I think standard deviation is gonna show up tomorrow. Remember this, I mean, you guys mess this up all the time, and it's not even your fault. Remember, with these types of questions, if they give you both answer choices, they give you two answer choices, and actually when you do the algebra, you do get 1 and 9, but one of them is extraneous, so plug it back in. Maya, which one are you talking about? I'm sorry, I didn't see your question. Number 12 on which? Logan, is there anything else? I mean, we touched on so much good stuff. One thing I wish I had touched on was this type of graph. Remember
Oh,
that?
it's like, okay, no, I got that. That was on like the one I took, the first one I took.
Yeah. For these, you have to use
Like
the
the
x and the
zero
y
comma.
intercepts here.
We've gone over that.
We have, I know. I mean, are you gonna miss one of these interpretation questions? It's
Probably not.
possible, man. I mean, it's possible. These are so slippery sometimes. Maya, let me find your question. Number 12 on dimensional shift. Yeah. Yeah, so let me just walk you through this one. Again, volume of a sphere. So I'm thinking 4/3 pi r cubed. And it does say that the diameter is 3 times as big, but diameter and radius are kind of like 1 to 1. It's the same. I mean, 1 to 2, but they're linear. It's the same thing. So just think about it like radius. If my radius has tripled, just like in the previous question, if my radius has tripled from x to 3x, think about it. If I'm 4/3 pi 3r cubed, back from the original of just r cubed, what's going to happen there, Maya? Won't this cube hit both? It's going to be D.
So I don't actually have to solve it out. I can just see like what the radius is changing, like what
Yeah,
factor.
Logan, if I remember correctly, back for the ACT, you would always like try values, like plug in one and then compare, and you'd be able to find it. But
Okay.
but here, yeah, it's non-calc, and yeah, I think my way is better.
Got it. Thank you.
Anything else, girls? I think y'all are in good shape.